Good morning. I'm in my studio this morning adding some details to my blocks, so stick around and see what I do with them. Okay, sometimes in my work, oftentimes, I feel like it's not enough just to have a block of wood that has pretty papers on it. I wanted to have a message. And this whole series that I'm doing, Words That Water Flowers, I've got the flower part covered. Now I want to get the words covered. So what I do is I create my own words. I kind of look around for things that resonate with me. And for instance, this block, I had already had a verse on here, but I printed out the word bloom. I also have wild and beautiful, drenched in sun. I think Who Loves a Garden? This was taken out of a book. But I do like to have words. This one says, wildflowers grow untended, untamed. And I think that's all. I have a verse from a poem in here. But so what I do is, I'm not going to search around to find, magazines and things I can cut text out of. So I kind of make my own. I make my own, find my own words that will go along with the series I'm creating. And I'll print them out or set them up in my word processor on my computer to get the words and the phrases I want. Grow beautifully in your own way. We can speak flowers. Bloom wildly. All kinds of things that just stick with me. So what I do is I take a piece of my deli paper, and it comes in a 12 by 12 square. So I cut it down to the size of a piece of letter paper. And this is old stationery that I have, so that works really well. It has a little bit of stiffness to it. And I take it and I scotch tape the deli paper right onto the stationery, and I run it through my printer. And the reason that I do that is because when I get them when I take them and cut them up into the words, it's on deli paper. And when I paste it on, when I use my gel medium to put it on, the words on, the paper disappears. So I just have the words. And I really, that's what I'm looking for. I want it to be integrated with the piece of art. So all of my pieces now have bloom wildly, have words on them, and they all relate to the same story that I'm telling with the words that water flowers. So that's my quick little trick that I do to create some transfers. I have not done it where I've printed on a photo and then use that, but I imagine it works the exact same way. It would work great. So that's a little add-on to these. Okay, so here we go. I've got words that water flowers laid out here. And let me just do one of my, show you what I'm going to do with one of my blocks. I have 15 of them, and I've saved the big ones to complete. And this one was one of my favorite little pear oil paintings. So that got put onto the block. This section right here was a piece of jelly paper that I just added on. This was a printed vinyl wallpaper. I put the word fresh, stenciled that word fresh in there. And then I just have a collection of papers that are in the purple and yellow, and I mixed in some of the turquoise. So a P on the top for pear. So let me shove some of this away. And I've chosen all the words that I want to use. On this one, here's how I'm going to detail this one out. I think I want to add, I was going to take Grow Beautifully in Your Own Way and put it right on that purple, but I don't think the deli paper is going to disappear enough on that because it's a light going on a dark. There's too much of a contrast. It's not going to show up. So I thought I'd make it a little bit more subtle and put it right over the tissue paper that I have here that has text in it. So let me just put some, I'm using gloss medium, just the liquid medium. And I hope this is going to show up and disappear in there quite nicely. So that's one thing I like. Then I thought, since I have a pear theme going on here, I'm going to take my favorite art tool, and if you follow my videos, you know Stabilo pencil is my favorite. I want to make sure I don't screw that up, but I'm going to just draw, whoops, 3 little pears. And they're all going to be different. Whoa, that one's really different. Simple little pears. And then I'm going to take a small brush and I'm going to activate my Stabilo pears with the gel medium because it will seal it in as well as activate it so that it kind of smears a little bit and makes it look a little bit more painterly, all the while trying not to mess up my letters over here that are still wet. And I can go back with some water and just clean up my edges a little bit. That's what I love about the Stabilo. It's pretty forgiving while it's still wet. So let me clean up those lines. And you don't have to use the medium to do this. You can use water and get just as nice of an effect. I just like to use the medium because it seals it in as I'm activating it. And because I can guarantee you most of the time I forget. As much as I love Stabilo, I forget I used it and I come to top coat a piece and I brush and smear it all out. So I kind of like that. There's 3 little pears, grow beautifully in your own way. So that is a nice, I think I've got enough going on here. Although I might take my ruler. I do love a line. I try to treat these like I do my artwork that I do on canvas, and I do like a line. So I'm going to add a line on that seam right there with my Stabilo, and then just come over it and seal it in and make it look a little bit more wonky, a little bit more painterly. I think what I would like to do is I want to take my Distress ink, and I'm using the, it's called Chipped Sapphire. So I'm gonna hit my edges with that because this is a little bit easier. And it leaves a nice finish. I just have to remember where my wet spots are on this canvas because on this block because I just hit one. Normally I would let this sit and dry before I'd add the edging, but for the sake of the video, you know, I'm all about the video. I want to get this done and show you how I do it. Now I'm doing blue on this, but I think what I'm going to do is when I'm done with the blue, I also found this rocket red gold, which is kind of cool. And maybe I can go over that. And I don't hit all of it. I just hit a little bit of it just to soften that up a little bit. So I don't want kind of makes it a little bit more violet-y, a violet because it's red and blue I'm adding together, which makes purple. And that's a little bit softer look than just the dark blue or the black. Hit my bottoms. I even found this old Color Box pigment pad. It's so old and dried up, but it makes a really cool little green. If I want to just, there's still paint in it. It's just that the pad is like completely deflated. And so a couple of these I've gone through and I've just added a touch of green, which I kind of like. Now it takes a little bit longer for it to dry, but I'm in no hurry. I don't need to have these pieces done right away. I'm making them for a studio show that we're going to have. So I'm in no big hurry. But I like that touch of the green. So this block, I hope you can see that, is pretty finished. I just go around and make sure that all my spots are covered up. And if you get a little bit too much and you're not wild about it, you can always just wipe it off. Let me see, maybe I want more blue on there. Oh yeah, that's better. I just want to cover up all the edges where I've hit the sanding. So I love that color that it makes. So this block I am calling done. Now, let me do one more. Okay, I really want it. Can't wait to do this one. This is my biggest block. I think it's like, I want to say it's 15 or 16 or 18 inches. I don't have a tape measure. 12, 13, I think it's 15. So this one I'm really loving. But not sure what I'm going to do with it. Oh, definitely going to use this color on it. This was the painting. It was a really pretty tulip oil painting. I cut it and kind of shifted this side of it so it just didn't look like a painting that was wrapped around. So let's see what we can do. How about Grow Untamed? I think I like that the best. And that could, actually, I could add a couple of these. I could add Grow Untamed. Let me cut this way down. Maybe we can add that right in here. These lines are actually giving me a good spot to add words. Grow Untamed. And then I liked this one. Grow Untended. I've got medium on my fingers now, so this thin paper wants to stick to them. Grow Untamed, Grow Untended. And then how about Bloom Wildly? We'll put that down here. And I'm just cutting off all the excess so I don't have to worry about the white showing up. And how about if we just do Bloom Wild? Grow Untended, Grow Untamed, Bloom Wild. I'm going to go with that. I think it works. I think I'm going to go over it with this. This is Spearmint, and it's a dye ink pad, but this is the perfect color for this. I'm going to just polish up my edges. This one's really easy to do. Fills in all those little sanded areas. blends in nicely. I could also, because this has a lot of the green in it, I could also hit this with a little bit of the green here and there. So that is just some of the details. Oh, I did want to also mention, and I think I already have, but I'm not showing it, is I use stencils a lot, and I like text. I like letters. So I'll go in and use letters and add stencils and details in that way. So I hope this all makes sense. And, we all do our details differently. So make it your own. This is a good opportunity to make it your own. I didn't want to add too much because I do like the paintings and I don't want that to just kind of disappear. And like I said, when I'm done with these, as I showed in the last video, I will use my cold wax medium to go over them and coat them when everything is dry and ready to go. Matter of fact, I already showed how to do this in the video when I was making the blocks, but it's really easy. I take my cold wax medium, I have, a nice little stiff brush, and I just rub it in there. I make sure to cover all my corners really well to seal them in. And it's just like waxing your car. If you've ever waxed a car, you don't want to put a heavy, heavy coat on because it will just make it cloudy and it won't go away. I put a thin coat on the whole piece. And this is your sealer, so you want to make sure you definitely get this on anything like your Stabilo pencil, or if you're using oil pastels, you want to make sure that it is all covered up. So I've got all of these sides covered, paying special attention to my corners again. I know I forgot a side here. I think this is it. And then I let that sit and I let it dry. It's a very thin coat. Like I said, you can also, before you let it dry, you can take a soft rag and just wipe off any excess. You don't need a heavy coat. It's better to do a couple of thin coats rather than a heavy coat. Let your coats build up if you want it to be a little bit shinier. You can take a soft cloth and you can just go back, and once the wax is dry, and give them a buffing, and it really gives a nice little luster. They're all sealed off, ready to go, and I will have 15 of these in various sizes, from this 3.5-inch cube to this big guy who's really heavy, using a 4x4 piece of lumber from the hardware store. So have fun with it, make it your own, make it fun, and do me a favor while you're here, reach on down there and hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button, because I do have a studio session I put out every Saturday morning. And leave a comment. If you have any questions on how to do this, please do leave a comment with your questions, or just a comment of, hey, that was fun. I can't wait to do it. Love your comments, and it really helps me out on my channel, and it keeps me coming back. So if I'm coming back, hopefully you're coming back. See you next week.